You can see the Vice President Joe Biden, who has just begun his eulogy for his own mother, Jean Biden. Let's take a listen.
Family, as a remarkable woman. She was the daughter of Ambrose and Geraldine Finnegan, growing up in a tight Irish Catholic community in Scranton, Pennsylvania, in the collective embrace of her four brothers, who she adored: Jerry, Blewett, Bosie, and her Jackie. Certain in their love, secure in their protection, and nurtured by their loyalty and affection. By their words and by their deeds, they instilled in Mom a sense of self-confidence and competence, allowing her to learn to trust her instincts and never be afraid to take risks, knowing she was any man or woman's equal. As long as I can remember, in Scranton, Mom was referred to by her family, her extended family, her friends and neighbors as our Jean. It's kind of a Scranton thing, as the Scrantonians know that are here. That was at least until she met the man she referred to as the most handsome man she ever met, Joe Biden from Wilmington, Delaware, our dad. In our view, Mom was the soul, spirit, and essence of what it meant to be an Irish-American mother, devoted to her Roman Catholic faith, proud of her Irish heritage, fiercely protective of her family, and deeply committed to her husband, and always loyal to her friends. To Mom, the greatest virtue was courage. She taught her children that the thickest of all substances was blood. And Jimmy, Frankie, Val, and I, and all our family have lived by that code. Monsignor Cini, Bishop, all four of her children are so grateful to God, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, that Mom lived long enough for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren to know her love and feel her strength. To each of us, it was not sufficient that she raised and nurtured us. We all wanted, and I mean this literally, we all wanted her to raise our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. Because we knew Mom could give them something we couldn't, at least not in the same measure. Those intangibles: confidence, balance, the feeling of absolute security and unconditional love, and that total sense of what it meant to be family. Consequently, I don't think I mean this literally, I don't think there was a week that went by from the time our Beau was born till the time her youngest grandson, Nick, spent the night with her, that there wasn't one of our children in her home staying the night. We ferried them back and forth. We did it because we really did know if they knew Mom, they would get that special thing. Mom had that sixth sense, Father Byron, that I could never fully understand, but it was real. She just had a way. And we desperately wanted each of our children to feel it. She taught her children, grandchildren, and her great-grandchildren that you are defined by your sense of honor, and you are redeemed by your loyalty. She was a quintessential combination of both optimism and pragmatism, heroic in her ideals, but solid in her expectations. She taught us that if your brother or sister loves someone, there must be something special about them. So embrace it. Jill, Jack, and Sarah are living proof that she was right. She taught us that failure at some point was inevitable in everyone's life, but giving up was unforgivable. She taught us to be respectful toward everyone, but deferential to no one. Our mother was proud on the edge of defiance, generous to a fault, and committed to all those she loved to the end. She believed in us, so we believed in ourselves. How could we do less? When we triumphed, she was quick to remind us that it was because of others. There's no one better than you. Every man's your equal, and every man deserves respect. That was her creed. That you must be a person of your word, for without your word you have no honor, and without honor you cannot be a Biden. That was her word. She taught us never to be intimidated by power, wealth, or station. That we did not have to accept social convention, and that we could set our own standards, one that was based on character alone. She called it the Biden standard. And that if we did set such a standard, other people would respect it and respond to it. Mom taught us that courage was not defined by the lack of fear, but by the willingness to act in spite of your fears. That bravery lived in each of our hearts, and that her expectation was that we would be summoned to reach for it when necessary. She taught us that God sends no cross you cannot bear, and as long as you're alive, you have an obligation to strive, and you're not dead until you've seen the face of God. My mother lived and died by that code. She never stopped striving, and now she has seen the face of God. It's as if Dad whispered into God's ears the words of James Weldon Johnson. She's weary. Go down, death, and bring her to me. Mom is back in Dad's embrace, where she belongs, and we're all at peace.
You have been listening to the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, in Wilmington, Delaware, the Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic Church. One of 4 children of Jean Biden, 92 years of age. She died recently. Today, giving the eulogy to honor his mom's life, he said only a few years ago that in his autobiography, he wrote that she had reservations about whether he should risk a promising career as a young lawyer to enter politics, saying, "You're not going to run for Senate and ruin your reputation, are you?" She said, "Once Mom was reassured that my future was safe, win or lose, she would do anything."